So remember the Species franchise? Well, we've got another one. It seems like they couldn't get enough of these things. Now we have Species 3. Again with the Microsoft XP title fonts. Man, these title cards were rough. How did this film come out in 2004 and manage to look worse than the first one? Anyway, I would say you'd have to watch all of these in order because the sequels continue off from the movie that came before it. There's a recapping of the first movie as well. These guys, the main soldier looking like Johnny Depp's father, are tasked with bringing Eve's body in to be destroyed or studied or whatever the case is. I don't understand how Eve is dead though. I know another alien killed her in the last movie, but it snapped her neck. And last time I figured these things that have their heads chopped off and regenerate. So how is it that she's dead? Don't know. Doesn't make any sense. This soldier apparently is working for the wrong team. He's on the side of the aliens, and he thinks that the aliens should be treated just like humans, despite the fact that they can eradicate humans and slice a whole human body in half at the whip of their freaking finger. The other soldier is like, nah man, I'm not part of that life. And then the ugly baby or small alien child pops up from behind the truck. How is it he's in there too? This cannot be the same ambulance that's from the first movie. It's not. So how is it that he got in here? Don't know. Military security is not really a thing in these movies. Well, the thing ends up killing the other soldier that has more common sense in this one. And when the driver soldier goes to the back, he sees the child in there just sitting. It had killed Eve as she was getting ready to give birth. She was still alive because remember, another alien supposedly killed her, which okay, she regenerated. See? That makes sense. This thing kills her as she's giving birth and breaks her neck. The driver soldier takes the new infant and runs away. Meanwhile, this little alien kid who is, if you could remember, if you haven't seen the movie, a child of an astronaut who was infected by the alien substance or alien genes when he was in space and mated with human women and got this. So the man from the first movie wasn't pure alien, he was just infected with an alien DNA strain. I know this franchise is the gift that keeps on giving. The driver's like, I'm not gonna let anything happen to you, little alien baby. I don't know what the hell I'm dealing with, but still. Sorry, but that is some creepy shit. Government is looking for the body of the guy, thinking the alien killed him. Oh, I suppose Eve is definitely dead now. I don't know how. A half-quarter alien snapped her neck, and somehow she forgets that she can regenerate. Okay. Then we meet main character number 2, or number 1, depending on what part of the movie you're in. Dean. And we see that he's a student at a college that this guy, the driver, the soldier, is working at. Oh dear. The soldier's name is now Bruce Abbott. Don't know how the military ended up not finding him, but whatever. Dean walks into his class late, and I understand it's very annoying, but then the exchange that the teacher has between him and Dean is just so freaking weird. Kind of reminds me of people nowadays on certain platforms. Just the level of ignorance and stupidity just surprised me, to be honest.
I'm Dean.
Dean? Of what? Leisure studies?
No, Dean's my name.
An atrocious one.
Sorry, sir?
Wow. Somebody's balls haven't dropped yet. What is your issue? It's so cringe when teachers like this try to look cool in front of the students and kind of encourage this bullying mentality and get off on the other students laughing at somebody else so that they take their eyes off of how lame you actually are. Yeah, I've seen enough of that in school because teachers did that shit to me and I wasn't doing anything. I was just a shy kid and I was the outcast. And Professora Kelly, pretty sure she's dead now because she was an old bitch when I was going to school, thought it was hilarious to make me the butt of all her jokes. Try being the outcast and having a teacher who's supposed to protect you and to look out for you, somebody else's kid, bully you with the students or encourage the students to bully you. That was the first time I ever threatened a teacher with a weapon. Yes, I held up a scissor and I stood from my seat and I basically threatened her with it. I wasn't actually gonna do anything, but I also grew up in Brooklyn and you had to look hard or people would target you and hurt you and possibly kill you. She called my bluff and basically used that to make more fun of me and everybody laughed and I stormed out the classroom. That shit will make kids want to hurt themselves. That fight or flight response is very real. And I was also very, very, very young. Kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back kind of moments. So, being that this is a much older teacher, even though she was much older, but still, this is not attractive. It doesn't make you look cool, it makes you look sad. Dean is an older guy though, so he's more mature and takes it in stride.
Because if you were Dean, you obviously would have arrived on time along with the rest of your classmates.
Wow, that is so cringe. Are you trying to imply because his name is Dean, he should act like a dean even though every dean I've known of shows up freaking late? How nonsensical is that argument? Oh my god, this guy's cringe. Who wrote this? And the thing is, I can't even blame the writers because there are people in real life who actually think like this. Anyways, freaking small balls here continues with the lecture after Dean apologizes and says that humans are the ones that made those viruses. That they're basically an evolution of the human germs or some foolishness like that. So they evolved from us, these viruses, and became the viruses we know today that infect us and become thorns in our sides. But they are also the perfect predator. So of course, Dean, being the person he is like, they're hardly perfect. And then the teacher loses his shit for like no reason.
Hardly perfect.
What was that?
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
So he's all like, repeat your comment, bitch, or I'll slap your wet ass. He didn't actually say that, but if he did, I guarantee you he probably wouldn't be fired since this is the way apparently he treats his students.
Well, it's just that you said that viruses are perfect, but they're not.
Dean is right. They require a host to survive. Or, rather, they can't reproduce on their own. And apparently, without a host mechanism, that they are slowly dying proteins. Which is true. And for some reason, Johnny Depp 2.0 here, or prototype Johnny Depp, whichever one, I think he's older, takes a personal offense to that.
It seems we have a future CDC administrator among us.
And then when he realizes his argument makes no sense, he dogs in with the students to get them to make fun of this person without directly addressing the guy's comments first. But wait a minute. I thought school was supposed to be a place for us to exchange thoughts and to learn and to grow and to learn to use critical thinking and to question our world around us. Yet this person is making it seem like this student making a valid observation is somehow wrong for doing so. I feel this because I've had teachers like this and it makes no freaking sense, especially when you're going to college. The fuck are you giving your money to them for? So the teacher goes on to say that, well, there are some last strains on the level 4 of the CDC that are scheduled for destruction. And I'm thinking, what is the point that this guy is making? Like, if I were Dean, I'd be like, what the frick is happening right now?
Rendered extinct.
Okay. Is this guy on something? What the hell is his problem? Okay, I mean, what was the point what was he trying to make with that? I threw my water, that means I'm real serious now. Dude, maybe you need to go get laid or something. Because clearly your ass is dry. It should be. I don't know what my point was.
Like the dodo bird, dinosaur? I guess that pleases you, right? Who are you to judge which species lives or dies?
With all due respect, what the fuck are you talking about?
Hey. Speciesist. Speciesist? Someone who's prejudiced against other species.
Yeah, I know.
And that, my friends, is how Twitter was born. Already this movie has me not looking so favorably upon the driver, because, you know, he's freaking nuts. Look at me, I'm so hot, but I'm also insane. I'm a freaking unicorn. Depp. Anyways, the crazy guy, Johnny Depp on a budget, overhears and oversees Dean getting told by this ugly professor, who looks like an old man Gerber baby, that his funding has been cut for his scholarship, or it will be, a little factory thing that he was doing, working at and doing whatever. It doesn't really matter. All we have to know is that he needs to do a project with a professor to do something and be okay. And we all know around this time, he's gonna be paired up with that professor. I also don't know why the professors over here, like, they really all have really humongous sticks up their asses. It's like they hate the students, unless the students are worshiping them or something.
Or you forfeit your scholarship next semester. Is that clear?
You can't cut the funding. I can do anything I want.
What the fuck is this? Whose ass didn't I kiss?
We find out that Johnny Depp is actually keeping a little girl in his house. It's Eve's daughter, the baby that the alien woman had in the car, in the ambulance. He tells her she's very unique and special and better than all of us. He's taking care of her, but also studying her. He gives her a lobster and tells her to use utensils, but she just throws them on the floor, blatantly ignoring and defying him because, let's be honest, what's he gonna do about it? She can easily kill him if she wanted to. Understandably, she had said that she was hungry, although she killed his cat and didn't eat it, so I don't really understand, you know. That makes no sense. Isn't that like a waste of food? Anyway, when Abbott goes back to university, some strange hunchback of Notre Dame shows up at his room. The way this guy looks and breathes make me feel like I can't breathe. This scene was so freaking hard to watch. Not because I feel sorry for him, but it was disgusting. This person should get an Oscar for his performance, because Jesus Christ.
The ambulance. That night, in the woods, remember.
Ugh, I can smell him from here. Johnny Depp 5.0 decides to help him by giving him some medicine and trying to treat him. He recognizes he's one of the alien spawns, or the half-breeds as he called them, which doesn't make sense because technically the little girl he's taking care of is a quarter breed since her mom was half human and alien and the father was not even truly alien. I don't really, whatever. I guess it's easier just calling them that. The little girl was a product of her mother, which is half alien and human, but with a lot of alien presence. And the father was just infected by an alien strain. So don't really understand what, whatever. When Abbott looks at the computer to see what this guy's ailment is, cool that he could just automatically do that, he realizes that this half-breed is being killed by pollen. And basically everything that naturally occurs in the human body or that's a healthy amount to have in the human bloodstream. But for some reason, because he's part of the alien and not the right amalgamation of it, I guess, he's being killed by it. This guy also comes in to Abbott's room and Abbott wants to treat him, but not once lifts up his shirt to see why there's blood blooming from the area. The guy lets Abbott treat him, but then he bursts out, like, pus just starts coming out from all over. Ugh, it's goddamn nasty. Like, I don't even want to think about it. I was eating like pumpkin pie at the time and I spat it out because it was disgusting. And I have a strong stomach, but me eating the pie and watching the pustules come out, it was too much. And they just kept going with it forever and ever. It's like a whole freaking 3-minute segment of just juices coming out of his body. His body is literally rotting from out of him. He takes off his glasses and his ear comes off. Then all his alien tentacles that are supposed to be like his intestines or whatever burst out from his stomach and okay, I guess this is what they wanted. So then the alien obsessor is like, what the frick is going on? He'd called Dean over. He kind of looks hot though, because like he does look like Johnny Depp, or Johnny Depp looks like him, whatever. And he's like, look, I heard about that guy cutting your funding. Basically, I want you to work with me. Meanwhile, at home, Sarah, which is the name that the little alien girl has now, starts screaming in horror when she realizes that her body is bursting out from itself. At the university, Dean follows the Professor Abbott, who is now surprisingly nice to him, and shows him the alien's body bursted in the room. They want to dissect it, and the guy basically says, well, it's back to Bunsen burners and beacons, or you can work with me on this, and we both get recognized for creating a genetic strain for the aliens that won't make them sick. I will say one improvement for this movie that sucks more than the other movies is the cocoon looks a lot more realistic because the aliens are basically within human bodies. And this looks like something from out of a Japanese horror movie. Now that Sarah's all grown up, right at this moment, while she's unclad, have a lot of that in these movies. I guess that's one takeaway. You gotta make a movie interesting by putting naked flesh in it because it's got nothing else going for it. Anyway, this dumb superintendent guy, or basically Abbott / Depp's superior, Nicholas Turner, goes to the house to figure out what Abbott is doing. He wants to confront him because he always figured Abbott was working on something and wouldn't tell him what it was. This is where he meets Sarah, unclad. Oh my. So this guy walks in and sees this person and he's like, oh Jesus. At least he has some decency when he walks in to turn away after seeing the unclad Sarah standing there, thinking it's probably Abbott's wife or girlfriend. Then he prepares to leave. And she's like, why won't you look at me? Don't you find me attractive? This guy is like,
You are by any standard. Perfect.
Are you a simp?
So yeah, she rips off his clothes and he's in ecstasy. And he's like, is this happening? Is this really happening? Is this for real? Then he realizes it is happening.
Who the hell can't?
Oh my God! Unfortunately for this man, he gets very frustrated because after she gets him all worked up and he thinks this is actually gonna happen, she says, yeah, never mind. Go away.
You can leave. Go. Shut the door on your way out.
His mistake is he did not take no for an answer. And that's how most of these men end up dying in these movies. They don't take no for an answer. You know, usually something like happens like this and it's too good to be true. It usually is. Run for the hills. She changes into an alien form and lets him know very kindly where he can go. And it's the afterlife. Shortly after that ordeal of her sending that man to meet his maker, Professor Johnny Driver and Dean come home. They start working together. Now they're completely deep in with each other because they're even getting rid of bodies together in a swamp. Meanwhile, What's-Her-Face leaves to go find a mate. Every college guy she meets is like, damn, baby, such perfection. And she like throws them around like they're a sack of cotton. Abbott, the professor, professor doesn't seem to be too worried that she's gonna come back because he made Sarah feel safe here. He made her feel as though she wasn't being kept in captivity. Kind of like raising a wolf. If you raise the wolf from a baby, yeah, it's still dangerous having one as a pet, but usually it will come back when it feels like it, unless it gets some tail. While Sarah is sitting there looking lonely, not being able to mate, a sci-fi woman picks up a regular woman who is obsessed with sci-fi and alien abductions picks up Sarah because it's cold and she's giving her a ride. She has no idea Sarah is an alien. But when Sarah gets out of the car and starts running down a train, probably to chase the man that's in it that's probably a half-breed, and she sees that her arm got devoured by the train wheels when she fell and it just suddenly grows back immediately, understandably, the sci-fi woman freaks the frick out and leaves. The man on the train had sensed that Sarah was coming after him. He has a bag of medications beside him. That means that he's very, very sick. He is one of the half-breeds. You see, the last half-breed that the professor and the student are now dissecting and trying to figure out what was wrong with it and how to perfect its strains, had mentioned that he wanted to find Sarah. He knew that Abbott had Sarah, but Abbott wouldn't give her up. You see, the half-breeds, since they are dying out and they're sick all the time, their only hope is to mate with Sarah. Take her genes and put it with theirs to make them more perfect. Maybe it won't save their lives immediately, but at least their genes will continue. Abbott's not too worried about Sarah going out and having a good time, even though Dean is, because she can't get pregnant. Humans are not good enough for her. She's a pure alien strain, and so she needs another pure alien to mate with. The roommate, Hastings, is like, I'm on to you, Dean. He's like, who's this chick you keep seeing? You keep coming out really late. I'm getting rid of bodies, so get off of my back. I don't know what accent that is, sorry. When Dean gets to the house, he is quickly held up by Sarah, who's surprisingly strong. He tells her, look, I work with Abbott, it's fine. She's like, how do you know my name? I will kill you. He's like, no, I work with Abbott. He's let go, and Abbott fills him in what happened to the first two movies. Eve comes down, even though Abbott doesn't really want her to know what they're doing. It seems she doesn't really care, or she really knows, and she still doesn't care. And she's like, I'm going out, don't try to stop me. Abbott's like, does it look like I give a damn or I'm trying to stop you? I'm busy. Eve meets with the half-breed that has red glowing eyes. She has blue glowing eyes. Don't know what the frick is happening here. What in the Godzilla universe is going on? I guess this is the way they identify each other and only they can see that, or just for our benefit so we know which one's which. Anyway, he mates with her and I'm wondering, how does she not see that something is wrong with him since all of the half-breeds are sick? She's like, something is wrong with you, and he's like, no, everything's fine. She's like, no, you're sick, you're dying.
So baby, stay the fuck away from me.
The alien guy's mad and he's like, don't you turn your back on me, Scar. Well, you know what I mean. Same shit. She comes home feeling frustrated and then she takes a liking to Dean. She doesn't know why, she just does. And he's like, let me teach you how to play chess. She picks up a book without looking inside of it and already knows how to play. She of course beats him and gets bored and goes away. When Dean goes back to his roommate Hastings is like, look, this really hot girl is sending me messages and she's like telling me like she needs some data or something. It's really convoluted and then she'll give me a sassy time. It seems too good to be true, which yeah, you know I'm gonna say it, it probably is. This guy works for the government. And this part of the movie makes no freaking sense to me because he discovered when he was going to get rid of the body or they were going to study it that Eve had been pregnant and they couldn't find the baby anywhere. And they're like, she's not pregnant now. And he's like, burn the body. And I want to go take care of this myself and not tell the government anything. My thing is, wouldn't the government already know? But no, he's like, go be good. He too knows about that email that Hastings got because it's been sent out to like almost everybody, like mass produced. And it's asking for specific data that matches up with the alien genome or something with the alien stuff. I'm not gonna pretend to care. Now they want to use Eve and he already drew all her eggs. Then she's like, I want Dean to take my blood. And during this time, Dean looks very shocked and sort of uncomfortable or flustered.
Yes, Daddy.
I have no idea how to breathe.
Everything's going well, they're taking her blood, and then one of the cables from the ceiling that's shaped like a finger wraps itself around Sarah's neck. Turns out to be the other alien that she left stiffed back at the hotel, and he's not very happy about that. Abbott always said that more and more of these half-breeds would come for her. It's very dangerous because they want to breed with her. They're just trying to survive. While he lets go of gas for a failsafe to kill both of them, he doesn't care about Sarah because he already has her eggs. But Dean won't let Sarah die. And as he can see, the alien's shindig is going into Sarah, or about to. And he's like, I can't let that happen. That's what happens when you try to be a hero for a woman who won't even sleep with you. Abbott goes in to save them, and he's like, go ahead, get Sarah out of here. He starts cutting into the male half-breed alien with a chainsaw, or just a regular saw. Before he can escape, the alien grabs him and penetrates him with the same thing he was going to use to penetrate Sarah. It's like one of those Avatar moments. You know, the things that come out of their hair that they use to mate with are the same things that they also use to connect themselves to the animal. See what I mean? How are we, the audience, supposed to make that distinction? Sorry. The way his face looks as he's talking. Oh my god. Oh no, I'm gonna burn. This is... I'm sorry, it's just... Abbott, it's gonna be okay. I'm sorry, I know, it's so insensitive.
You're gonna be okay.
I doubt it.
Yes, it's just like, I can't. Jesus Christ. I mean, I know dying is dramatic sometimes, but Lord have mercy. Anyway, now it's Dean's responsibility to take care of Sarah. He treats his wound and tells her everything about what Abbott was planning to do. He was basically like, look, he was gonna use your eggs to make more of these things, and so he can get a Nobel Prize. And she's like, what about me? You're gonna take my eggs and do what? He wants to destroy them. And she knows that it's to protect his species as a failsafe or whatever. And he's like, look, just because we can do something doesn't mean we should. Dean takes Abbott to the swamp to give him a certain lab chemical element term burial, not really, funeral. Like, two things come together and the fire sparkle. Whatever, it's not really important. What is important is Dean goes back home and finds that finds that Sarah, why am I calling her Eve? Sarah is gone. He follows her and then she holds him up. May with me. And he's like, this is really tempting, but no, because first of all, you don't like humans. So obviously you want something. And she's like, it can be a transaction if you can, since you're like a science nerd person, you can like splice the genes together to make me a baby. And he's like, you know what? I can't do this. Yeah, right, bitch. If she hadn't shown you her alien self or you didn't see it, you would have been done it. Hastings comes. Oh, God. Damn, Hastings. Okay. I mean, you know. Hastings said the girl with the email wrote him back, and he gave her the data she wanted. But the data happened to be from Dean's notebook that he left there. Yep, stole his notes and gave it to this girl, who we know by now is not an actual girl. Dean had told him before, yeah, something fishy about that, but instead of telling him outright, look, man, I don't think you should answer that, he just tells him one time to turn off his laptop and then doesn't care the other times when this person is clearly being sought after for information that Dean himself has. Well, this girl's on her way. She stops at a gas station, and this man's like, can I fill up your tank? She's like, yeah, fill it up. Then she goes to the bathroom where we can see she's sick as well. She's a half-breed. He comes in and locks the door, and he's like, can I fill it up? And she's like, yeah, fill it up. While they're shenanigans, he tells her to stop because something is wrong. You see, he wanted to teach her some manners, and she wanted to teach him how to do tongue. When she gets out, the friends that wanted to also have a ride waiting by the door go in and stare through a hole in their friend's skull. Then he has the audacity to be like, you okay? Or call his name or some shit. It's like, does it look like he's okay? Does it look like he's alive to you? People aren't so bright, are you? Well, now the crazy girl is there. And honestly, this looks like a scene from out of Terminator. Hastings is kind of freaked out. And she's like, I'll give you the reward if you give me the rest of the things that you tell me you're gonna give me after the data. And he's like, it was just a joke. And then she starts questioning him, realizing that he's not actually the one that knows how to do this thing. She doesn't care. She's like, you wouldn't like to see me when I'm angry, boy. Dean is smart, and as soon as he had come back from his run and saw the girl was in the room, he booked it. This girl also can feel that Sarah is nearby. They sense each other. Poor Hastings is kidnapped, and when Dean goes out there to try and save him, the girl has already taken off in the car. But there's another car sitting out there. The government. The government guy's like, look, cut the shit. I already know. Don't even bother lying. What are those things that are after you? Why'd they kidnap your roommate? He and the government guy work together because the government guy doesn't want his other people knowing, which I'm like, for something like this, you're gonna be a one-man show with a college student. Jesus Christ. This part of the movie made no freaking sense. These things can reproduce really fast, and they're dangerous in killing people. But you're like, I don't want anyone else to know. But you work for the government. Oh my God. Ugh. Hastings is being pressured to do this. The half-breed alien woman stabs him in the leg, and she's like, maybe you need some motivation. The alien girls are working together. Meanwhile, Dean and one-man show government dude hook up a plan to get rid of the aliens once and for all. The half-breed alien girl sees that her dying has progressed significantly. When they all reach a certain age, I guess their body just starts falling apart. Sarah sees the human looking back at her. Poor Hastings. The half-breed's like, where you going? And she's like, it's not my fight. She's like, listen, if if you don't help me, this could happen to you too. You don't know if you're safe, bitch. Oh my god, you have a point. Let's kiss. I would think the aliens would have a way to like change their gender or something like that, or the sex, so that they could mate with each other in situations where they can, you know what I'm saying? Hastings is like, please don't let me do this. And then, right as he's about to inseminate the egg, something drops through and it's like a rocket gas thingy. The gas starts killing the aliens. Hastings makes it out of there since government dude and Dean have saved him. He grabs the alien eggs and they head for the factory where Dean used to work. The aliens follow them there and split this poor security guard in half. Both Eve and the half-breed are chasing them. Dean goes down into this, like, experimental power plant thing with this rather unstable core, and his idea is to trap the aliens there while also dropping the eggs inside of it. The aliens are not too happy with this. The Amelia half-breed alien catches up to him and maims him. He puts on the eggs, or she puts on the eggs. What a weird cut. She had grabbed the eggs from him. Why is she on this side? We can see that she puts it down. See, she has the eggs in her hand. She's the one who has the eggs in her hand. We see her then put down the canister, but they freaking broke the 180 rule in filming, which is so basic. If your character is facing one direction, don't have them freaking facing the, it's freaking jarring as hell, because it looks like he's the one who's supposed to be putting on the canister, but it's her. Like, what? And then it goes back to this, that's so freaking jarring and very annoying. Maybe to the average person it wouldn't bother them, but having got my film degree, it's very annoying. Then this idiot, instead of being like, you know what, let me kill him and push him into the core, let me kiss him just to like spite him. The entire time the plant's core is melting down. Sarah just happens to come up with her big old lips and she's like, you know what? For no reason other than you're kissing Dean and not really sure what's happening, I'm just gonna kill you. Eve grabs the alien and hurts her. And she's like, what the frick, man? And Eve's like, you know what? Your service is no longer required. I know I keep calling her Eve. Her name is Sarah. She's Eve's child, but it's basically the same type of alien. Eve, Sil, Sarah, you know what I'm talking about. Dean grabs the controls and he has to close a mechanism in this thing or else the whole planet dies or they just die with it. It's really stupid. The government guy and Hastings are just out there screaming at Dean to do certain things from behind the scenes like he can hear them when he's a completely different part of the little factory. But no, the half-breed is not dead. Look, she grabs Sarah. Dean is like, no. They stop the explosion. Sarah and the eggs and that alien all fall in and burn to death and everything's saved. Government guys on TV saying, I don't know what caused the explosion, but that guy, Turner, the man that Sarah killed when he couldn't get the hint after going to Abbott's house that she told him to leave, yeah, he blew up in there too. Even though Abbott's still missing, so how are you gonna explain his death? Don't know. Hastings is so happy everything is fine. When Hastings goes back to Abbott's house, he sees a little child there. Oh no. Oh dear God. Then what's worse, he also sees Sarah is still standing there alive. Hastings runs down to the lab to ask his friend, why is Sarah still alive? And why is there a child there? And he's like, it's okay, man. Don't worry. Everything will be explained. See, Sarah was actually still hanging from the platform and I saved her. I decided to splice the genes together and make that strain of human alien that I was talking about, but they're not sick. At first I thought that when the thing grew up, Sarah was gonna mating with her child, but no, it's a completely different organism that Dean made for Sarah. And he said that nobody should be alone. So Hastings is like, if you made her a boyfriend and you're setting her out there free to go do whatever, don't you think they're gonna breed? And Dean's like, you don't think that I made him able to breed? I didn't say anything about making him fertile. He's sterile. Don't they understand the life finds a way situation? Did they not watch Jurassic Park? And they're like, oh, okay, you dog, but what's gonna happen when Sarah and this guy find out that you made him sterile? What are they gonna do? Sarah's gonna be very betrayed. Right now, Sarah's just happy she gets to be free and have someone by her side. But these aliens are all about breeding when the time calls for it, and that's usually immediately, so I don't see how they haven't tried it before. Maybe when they get down to the end of the train tracks, they're gonna try it right there and realize. What if they realize it like the next hour when they try to bang? Dean also asks Sarah why she saved him. You know, he didn't have anything that she needed anymore. Her eggs were gone. And Sarah's like, maybe you'll find out the answer to that question someday. Or maybe it won't when she comes back and kills you for tricking her. The other thing that doesn't make sense here, right? And this is where the movie kind of ends. It's really ridiculous. I don't really understand this movie because, doesn't Sarah and all of the other aliens have the ability to immediately recognize when something is wrong in their partner that they want to mate with? Wouldn't she immediately recognize that he's sterile? You know what I'm saying? She would know immediately something is wrong with him. Okay, let's just say they're trying to mate. It wouldn't take that long. It's not like they're gonna wait 6 months before they do anything. All she's gonna do is come back and force you to make him sterile, so it doesn't make any sense. The other thing that upsets me is, holy moly crap, don't the aliens regenerate? So why is Eve dead? Why has she not regenerated? The thing only snapped her neck. It didn't cut her into tiny pieces, but yet she's dead. Like, just altogether dead, which makes no freaking sense. You could probably make the argument that they burned her body before she could regenerate, but it still makes no sense to me. This movie was weird. I would say it's like the least favorite one or favorable one in the whole franchise. And apparently based on what people are saying, they get worse. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. This has been Ultiori. You ask, we answer.